Welcome to the how-to brisket video. My name is James. Welcome to how to make a brisket. So what we're going to do today is we are going to smoke a 14.5-pound brisket, and that's this right here. So this is the beginning product. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to trim all this stuff, the fat, top and bottom. We're going to season it. We're going to get the pit going, and we're going to have some excellent brisket. I got family, I got friends, so it's going to be a great time. So we'll see you soon. All right, welcome back. So what we're going to do is we are going to trim the fat on the brisket on both the top and the bottom. So the top is all of this extra little fat and stuff that's sitting around there. Just don't look too attractive. And this big fat cap here. And then obviously you can see there's a bunch of fat that doesn't give any flavor or anything. It's just there. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and trim all that stuff up. So we've kind of got what we're going to get off the top here. I mean, you can do a little more if you want to, but now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get rid of this big cap right here. And what you want to do is you want to get rid of the fat. You do not want to cut into the meat itself. So you just want to get rid of it. And you can do this any way you want with any kind of knife. I'm just using the paring knife. I'm gonna kind of just cut into it a little bit. Try to get in there. And if this does not give any flavor, it does nothing at all. There we go. So getting that out there. Oh, that's perfect. Right on top of it. Between the point and the flat. You really want to get in there. You really want to get as deep as you can because, like I said, there's no flavor in this. Alright, and you should be good there. A little bit. And you're good. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to trim the bottom now. And that actually is about all you need to take off. So we're good. So now what we're going to do, it's trimmed. You just want about 1/4 of an inch, as you can see, or so, on that bottom fat cap. And once you get that, you have the top trim, the bottom trim. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and season this up. All right, so we've got the front trim, the back trimmed as much as I like. Got about 1/4 inch. I mean, you can see there's a couple of small spots that hit almost the meat, so we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and season it. Now what I like to use for seasoning is you gotta have some pepper, some salt, some garlic. This is what you need in a brisket. That's key. So we're gonna start with this, and this is gonna be just all over. So you definitely need some pepper. But this is a pepper and garlic rub. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing seasoned up here, because that is the true flavor of a steak. Some salt, pepper, garlic. It's amazing. So you're just gonna get this everywhere. All right, now I think I got that about where I want it, and I'm gonna hit it with some a little bit of sweet. I don't usually use sweet on this, but this time they didn't have the rub at the store that they usually have, so I'm just kind of improvising. So with the pepper and the garlic and everything, I'm gonna throw some sweet rub also on there, but limited. So I don't want it too sweet, so I'm going to season it with that as well. Now the bottom of the brisket is not really too important. You just want to kind of get some in there. And this is just going to kind of help the flavor on the smoke when it hits the water. To throw some flavor up in the air. It doesn't really do much for the flavor of the brisket, but just give it a little bit. So we're good there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to flip the brisket over, and we are going to season the other part. Normally I'd let this sit for a minute, but it's not a big deal. Like I said, the bottom, just a bunch of fat, fat that you won't really eat. So I'm just going to flip this over and get to the good part. Yeah, so now this part, you want to make sure, watch this real quick. You want to make sure to hit it heavy. You want a heavy rub on this. You got the point and the flat. And what you want to do is just, you want to get that rub everywhere. As much as you can, all over that meat. And this is the most important part, is making sure you get every nook and cranny of the brisket, because this is what's going to make the brisket in the end taste so good, besides just the smoke, but all the other flavors you put into it. So that looks good. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of sweet, not too much sweet, but just a little bit of sweet. So I'm gonna add some sweet in here. You really want to coat this thing with the pepper and the garlic and all those flavors. You really want to get this whole thing. It's a big chunk of meat. So like they say, be liberal. Add it to every nook and cranny that you can. So we've got this thing pretty much covered. All right, so we got some pepper on there. Pepper, garlic, onion, some red flake, a little bit of sweetness, just a tad, not too much. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna let this sit for probably about 15 minutes or so. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna soak some of the juice out, and it's gonna kind of caramelize, I guess you could say, or stick, get it, sticking together. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes. And by that time, we should be able to throw it on the pit. So we'll see you in a minute. All right, so while we're waiting for the pit to come to temperature, Man, we're just enjoying an awesome sunny day. I mean, it was 95 today. We got the pool in the background, waterfalls going, got the garden. I mean, it's lovely actually. I mean, it's just a great day. We got the neighbors are coming over, friends of ours, so it's gonna be an awesome night. And even tomorrow, because this is gonna be a 15+ hour smoke. So we started at 4:30, preparation and everything. I mean, I'm getting this thing on finally when the pit is ready, probably in about 10-15 minutes. I mean, that's an hour and a half of preparation just to get the brisket on. But yeah, I mean, this is a great day, and we're gonna spend it with friends and family eating tomorrow. So we'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so we finally got the pit. The temperature was sitting just above 250, right around 260, but we're dropping perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the brisket on. It's looking amazing. If you can look, the juices are starting to just coagulate. It's looking beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and throw it on. So if you want to go ahead and follow me out to the pit, we can go ahead and throw it on. Alright, so we got a very light smoke coming out, which is amazing. Now with this brisket, what you're going to want to do is you are definitely going to start here, is put the point down by where the firebox is. So we're going to go ahead and grab this brisket like a man, and we're gonna put this thing on just like so. All right, so we got the firebox down here at this end, and the smokestack here, so we're gonna a little more heat on this end. So I guess now what we're gonna do, I mean, and we also got our water pans down. I got one main water pan here, one by the firebox, and so yeah, I mean, all we need to do now is we're gonna go ahead and drop the top on this thing, and we'll probably check it in about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours or so. So we'll be back. All right, so we got the brisket going, but we're gonna do some brats and hot dogs. But who cares about that? Because we got brisket on the grill. There it goes, right? So anyway, here goes some coals. We gotta feed people tonight. So brats and hot dogs tonight, mac and cheese, beans, you know, all the good stuff. So we're grilling, having a good time. We're in temperature, as you can see, is still, we're holding about 240. It's gonna fluctuate in between 239, 241. So that's pretty much where we want to be. You know, anywhere really between 225 and 250 is fine. 225 is gonna make it cook a lot longer. But I'd like to be right around 230, 240. You know, it's gonna be about a 15-hour smoke or so. So we're on our way. All right, so we're 2 hours in. We're still smoking. We're sitting right at 225, which is actually perfect temperature. So we want to be, you know, between 225 and 250. I want to keep it, you know, kind of low. So 225, 230, somewhere in there. We just went up a degree, so we're sitting real good, and we'll let you know here soon, and we'll be eating with you soon too. All right. All right. So we've got we're 3 hours into our smoke. We got another chimney going. We're about to recoal. So here we go with this. And I just want to say, normally you want to use a hot glove because these chimneys do get hot, but I know my chimney, so mix this up. We're gonna go ahead and walk over here.
Quite honestly, yeah, you're not wrong. For me right now, it's trying to visualize how to get in the hardest thing ever. Well, you're a woman, so how can you teach me how to do it?
Hooty hoo!
It's impossible.
Hooty hoo, Morty boo!
I'd be a man, so that's the car. Well.
Alright, so got the coals in. These are gonna last for probably another 3 to 4 hours. And we are going to drop this top and we're gonna close this vent to cool this down. The damper down here at the bottom. We're going to close that completely. Let it cool down. We're right now at on the temperature. So we're at 219, 221. So we're going to raise really quick. And we're probably going to get to, with the damper closed, probably around 260-ish, I would say. So what we're going to do is wait till that reaches where it's going to go. And then go ahead and throw some more wood on there. And we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so we're 5 hours into the smoke. Temperature is still at 230, so we're sitting perfect. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what it looks like after 5 hours. Woo. So that thing right now is just, oh man, that's looking delicious right now. Yeah, it's at a low 225, 230. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So there's a little peek. So it's midnight right now. I'll probably come recoal in a couple hours. You're not going to see that. And then we'll catch up back with you in the morning for the final. We'll probably wrap it and then check, thermometer and stuff. And then we'll be cutting up and having some good food. So we'll catch y'all tomorrow because it's late tonight. So have a good night. Alright, so it's been 13 hours. We started at 7 last night. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. Just got up and feed the fire all night, keeping it between 225, 250. So here's what we got so far. So on the point here, we're sitting at about 172. On the flat down here at this end, we're at 158. So at this point, you've kind of reached your normal, what's called the stall. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up and get it back onto the pit here and then maintain our temperature. So we're gonna go ahead and take it into the house. We'll see you in the house. So we're inside, we got the brisket here. We're just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This is also called the method known as the Texas crutch. Now you can do this with red butcher paper, which some people prefer. I just use foil, it always works for me, so either way is fine. But all we are going to do, see, we get a little bit of jiggle here. We're not obviously at temperature yet, but is looking amazing. It's looking awesome. So all we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Some more food here. Make sure it's nice and tight when you wrap it up. Don't want any of those juices seeping out. All right. Now it should be good, but I'm gonna give it one more for the bottom. Wrap, and this is actually also gonna leave this open. I'm gonna stick the thermometers in here, my probes, so we can check it out. So, so we're good here. We'll go ahead and we'll get ready to throw it back on the pit. I need to recoal and do some stuff, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we wrapped the brisket. We got it back on. I had to, in between, I had to take out all the old ash in the firebox, recoal it. So we've done all that stuff, boring stuff nobody wants to see. So it's been recoaled. We're good to go. Got another, probably 4 or 5 hours to go. So it's all wrapped. I got my gauges, my probes. I got one in the point, one right between the point and the flat, and one in the flat. You don't necessarily need that one in the flat, but I had an extra probe, so I just threw it in there. We got our temperatures here, so it kind of shows you what's what. So we're anywhere from 155 to 134 right now. It's been sitting for a while because I had to clean everything out. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna get it back up to temperature, 225 to 250, somewhere in there, and just let it sit. And now we're just gonna play the waiting game and wait till it gets to, you know, you want it anywhere between 190 and 200 is okay. I like it between 195 and 200. 195 is my kind of my key mark right there. I'm gonna let it rest. I'll keep cooking after that. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the top here, and we'll probably see you in probably 4 or 5 hours. All right, so we're at the very last part. We've got the brisket up to temperature, as you can see on the temperature gauge here. We've got 3 different probes in, temperature great, still around 230, perfect. 199 for the point. The middle where the point and the flat meet, 195, and the flat is at 197. So we're perfect. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and pull it off, and then we've got a cooler here that we're gonna go ahead and put that into the cooler, and we're gonna let that sit for probably about 2 hours or so. But let's go ahead and do that. And just to let you know, I threw a rack of ribs on, if you could see. There you go. So about 2 hours ago I put those on. So we're gonna have that, and it takes about 4 to 5 hours to smoke. So by the time that's done, those ribs will be done also. So brisket ribs, you know, good stuff. So let's take these probes out. Yeah, you know what? We can just leave it on this. I think this will fit in here. Just like that. And that's perfect. Air circulating and stuff, so so there it is. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and let that sit for about 2.5 hours. Let it rest. Let it collect all the juices, and then I'll be back to cut it up and eat it. See you later. All right, so we are at the very end. The brisket has been sitting in the cooler for 2.5 hours. So, ooh, that's some nice heat. What we're gonna do, we're just gonna pull this thing out. We're gonna bring it right over here to the chopping board, and we're gonna go ahead and get a look. And what you really want is you want it to sit long enough to where you pick it up, it's not super hot to your touch. You just want it, you know, to be warm, of course, but not super hot. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have done so far. All this effort. All right, so things after 2.5 hours, oil and everything still steaming. Still looking absolutely amazing. Look at all that juice flowing everywhere. Whew, look at that. The juices are just everywhere. And that is amazing. So what we're gonna do, well, now that you have had a peek, is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prep this. It's gonna take me a few minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and get on the cutting board. We're gonna chop it up, and then we're gonna go ahead and eat. So I'll be back in just a minute. So we are at the final of we're at the finale, man. This is the most exciting part, which is actually cutting it, eating it, you know, just, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna explain to you real quick what you need to do is when we're here is you always want to just, you know, you cut against the grain. I know the grain is going this way on the whole brisket pretty much. At the point here, the flat here, I just made a quick incision here, but you really want to get about 1/4 inch slices. So I'm gonna put my brisket to the test today. It's gonna be the 1/4 inch slice test, not the 3/8 or more. So let's go ahead and cut into it. And this flat part is the lean part. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. Let me cut into this part. Looking pretty good. Actually, every time I press down on this thing, I hear the juices going in and out. So we're actually cutting into part of the point because the point comes down a little further, but we're gonna go ahead and keep on slicing here. And so we're kind of at the end of the point or close. So kind of the big test is you need about those 1/4 inch slices. You want a good smoke ring. This is live. I have no idea what's going on. Just cutting it. So we're gonna take a piece. We're gonna give it a bend test here and just kind of see what's going on. Okay, so you got this. It's still hot. All right, so you want it to basically do just like that. Fold over and not break, which is perfect. And you got your smoke ring around the top, all the way around the top, the whole thing, top. I mean, this smoke is even penetrating the fat in the bottom. And then the last thing that you really want to do is, check that smoke ring real quick right here. It's a nice smoke ring. Is you just want to pull, not hard, just pull soft, and it should just fall apart. Just like that. I mean, the whole thing, all of it. And of course, I swallowed it without even eating it. It's so juicy. I'm sick. We got people listening right now. It literally is. Look, this is the lean part of the meat, and you can see the juice coming out of the lean part of the meat. I mean, that's the lean part. We haven't even gotten into the actual juicy. So there's this part. We're gonna go ahead and kind of set this to the side. I'm just gonna go and continue to cut this. Amazing. So we're getting into where the point is. And I just want to make a couple more cuts here. So this part, you actually got where the point is on the top, and the flat actually ran out here. It was on a little bit on the bottom, but so we're good here. But I mean, you squeeze down on that, and you can just see all the juices. They're literally squirting out. It's amazing. So we're good there. Now on this part, you can do two things. You can cut this in half, chop it up into 1-inch cubes if you want. You can do burnt ends. You can throw it back on the smoker for an hour with some barbecue sauce or something and do it that way. But we got a lot of people that like to eat, so I'm just gonna continue to go ahead and slice this up and have a great dinner. Just, I mean, the smoke ring, the juiciness, you see it all the way through the whole meat. It's awesome, amazing. So that's how you smoke a brisket. We will have an outro for you, a bunch of happy faces, because people love to eat, especially when brisket's awesome like this, for sure. So anyway, we'll be back in a little bit to give you the outro, and that's how you smoke a brisket. All right, so little outro. All it is basically, you seen that I had some ribs on the grill earlier. This is how they turned out. So, I mean, just perfect. I mean, the smoke ring is literally almost through the whole rib, and as you can see, half of them are gone. Yeah, but I mean, this is how it goes. Baby back ribs and brisket, which is already halfway. That's 14 pounds, halfway gone already. We just devoured it. And we got the pasta, the cheesy potatoes, the corn on the cob, the collard greens. I mean, we did it big. I want to say, big thanks to everybody that helped out, especially the camera guy. It's awesome and amazing. And yeah, this stuff's all eaten up pretty much. So this is kind of the aftermath. So we're gonna maybe add a little link or something. I'll do a little how to smoke ribs later if you'd like. But it was an amazing day, and hopefully you guys liked the video, and we will talk to you later.